So if I could ask really quick about something else that you said earlier, how you said you were a performer and you loved the energy of being on stage and having eyes on you. How do you
Mhm.
take that energy and apply it to when it's just you and a camera or just you and a camera crew? Like, how do you keep that exhibitionist energy going?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, you know, I mean, a camera might be held only by one person, but it's going to be seen by, however many people end up seeing it. So I think that's probably part of the energy is what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Just
you, yeah,
Yeah, I
because you
can
said you
only
did.
imagine
Sorry.
what that feels like. Just making the transition from doing this show in a studio where we had, maybe a few people in the audience and at least the opportunity to like
oh yeah.
have that chemistry with the person sitting next to you, to then
Mhm.
all of a sudden COVID hitting and doing this from home and just being sort of like, okay, it's just me and an empty void. Just okay, I'm gonna assume that this camera is connected to something and that there are people out there who are connecting with this content. It is a little different.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a difference for sure. But I mean, when I started, I was mainly doing in the early days, it was mainly bigger sets with crews and stuff like that. But I always did clip work too for other directors, even then. So it's so there's lots of times where it's just one camera person and me on the other end, and but yeah, to me, it's still performance even without a live audience, and so I still have that energy, and it's good. I'm glad that we've all been able to do these things still. Like if we were in that plague from 100 years ago,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be able to have any connections at all like this.
No,
So
fair to say it's definitely better than nothing, and I don't want to be dismissive of that. And there are a lot of benefits to it too. I mean, I had been doing online counseling before the pandemic even hit. At the same time, while I want to like enjoy that we have these tools and this opportunity, I know this is a bit of a digression, but I really just want to remind the audience that this is not normal life. And even as we like adjust to it and adapt to it, there's something very strange about it. And so if you are struggling with your mental health or these different things, it's worth being curious about that piece of it and what the value of face-to-face connections and some of these other things might include. Uh,
big
yeah,
time.
putting all that aside, though, I'm fascinated to hear, I guess, about your process, if I can call it that. As Puck was asking you about the energy of connecting with the camera and everything else, it makes me really curious. Just what inspires you about porn? Like, what gets you excited as a creator, as a performer, as a creative?
Oh yeah. So for me, like the most exciting times are when I'm presented with a project that is very creative, that I get to play some type of character and almost even solve a problem of like, how are we going to portray this? So an example is that I did a custom video a couple weeks ago where I was like a nerdy scientist type, and then I took a serum and it turned me into a total like sex pot, like transformed me. And so it was like, oh, cool, I get to play this nerdy character and have fun with that. And then on the editing program, okay, my husband does that and is like, he made it. And I was like, but I kind of want it to look like this. So how are we going to make it do that? To me, like that's a fun project.
Hmm.
But when it comes to doing more just, traditional porn scenes and stuff like that, I mean, I'm fired up to normalize this. That's probably like the biggest thing for me is just I'm passionate about showing people that, there's no shame. They shouldn't feel any guilt about having a sexuality and having sexual desires and then like being who they are. I'm such an LGBTQ, advocate, and I am queer. And so I'm blessed to have like the fans that I do, because it's a lot of women coming to me saying I felt bad for being gay for so many years, or I feel bad about my body for so many years, or whatever the thing is. It gives me, I have all these opportunities to try to inspire people. And I will say that's my number one. Like my purpose in life is to inspire. So whether it's to really be yourself or whether it's to, grab control of your life and the things you want to do in it and the sex you want to have, to take those risks as far as trying to get those things you want, and not hear these voices telling you it's bad or it's wrong, like to be inspired to live your life before it's too late. And I know that I've done that only because I have so many people that have told me that. So that's probably that is the most fulfilling part of my job, for sure.
So
Yeah,
as much as you
powerful
talk
stuff.
about how passionate you are about it, and what does for you, whatever happens when you get on set and there's a lot of people there who are ready to go, and for some reason you're just not feeling it. It's just not a good day for you or for any of the other performers. Do you just muscle through it as best you can? Do you call it off and say, let's try again another time? What happens
Oh
when the
no.
performers aren't into it?
If you show up on set to a professional set, you're gonna do your job. That's it. So maybe I'm lucky because I almost could never have that problem. Like when I get to a set and there's a girl there who's I'm going to have sex with, and I'm going to be treated well by everyone on set, and like I'm just excited, like, because for me too, a big part of it, like especially in the early days, every time I went to a set and I'm like, good God, like we're making a movie, like I'm a movie star. This is legit. I mean, that's the thing I think a lot of people get wrong about porn too. They must think that we're all shooting it in basements with like sleazy, sweaty dudes with chains around their necks smoking cigars or some shit. I don't know, but that is so far from what it is. Like it's very professional.
Not just studio apartments.
Right. No. The indie circuit, like it's studio apartments, it's rental homes, it's apartments, it's whatever. But then it's usually just, me, my partner, who's my cameraman, and then the other performer. And we've all agreed on doing it with each other, and we're all professional with each other, and we're just having a good time. But when you go to a professional set, I mean, there's a big crew of people there, and, there's craft services, and you're just treated well. And I was just always like, oh my gosh, I'm a movie star. This is so cool. I've been lucky. I've had just overwhelmingly wonderful experiences in this business. So I haven't really had that happen, but I do agree that you do kind of just muscle through. I mean, because no matter what, when I put myself in the shoes of like other performers, it's like their agent booked them this job. So their agent is going to be held accountable if they don't do the job, or if they half-ass it, and you don't want your agent yelling at you, but also you want to get paid, but also you want to get hired again. So, it's a job. You got to do your job.
I
And
hear it.
it's great that you're talking to us about what sets actually look like. If only there was a way to actually help our audience understand, because I think I made this comment while we were in the wings. We were saying how a lot of the people who have a problem with porn probably have a very bad misconception about what porn actually is, and all the stuff that's
Absolutely.
involved
Fair
in
to
it. So
They
a
have
lot of the
no
stuff is like,
idea.
yeah, very professional quality. I mean, like you said, the people are treated very well. But I suppose one interesting question is, like, as a layperson, if I'm trying to investigate a studio to see if they're ethical, to see if they treat their performers well, how do I begin to look for that? Like, I could probably subscribe to one of like 50 sites right now, but how do I know which
Yeah.
ones are the ones that are the best for the performers?
That is really hard. Because the scenario you're describing, like you will be spending your money. So that's why, as Christy was pointing out, the number one rule is pay for it. So you're doing something ethical no matter what by paying for it.
Right.
But and I do feel like by and large things are pretty ethical, especially if it's like a mainstream company. They're paying their performers, they're treating them well on set. But as in any job, like there's just no, or any, sector, there's no way of getting 100% guarantee that every person on set is going to behave the way as they should.
Any boss can be an asshole.
Right.
Any boss can pull you into the office and grab your ass or whatever, or do worse. And that that happens. We've had directors or certain people get called out. There's usually a big Twitter thing, and then they get pushed out, and people stop working with them or stop hiring them to direct and stuff like that. So, but the point is how can a consumer find?
Is there like a better business bureau for porn studios? Anywhere that someone can go and like find out?
No, there isn't.
So the best way maybe would be to like talk to the performers as personally as possible and see who they have a relationship with.
Yeah, which is, again, it's that Twitter thing. I mean, find the people that you like, their names, follow them on Twitter, follow them on Instagram, and their OnlyFans. That's honestly the best thing you can do, because then you're supporting the artist directly. You're supporting the person you want to support most, and that makes the biggest difference to us. Whereas supporting a studio, it is good still, but it's a big studio. Like, I don't know.
Everything that we're talking about involves just creating more dialogue around pornography.
Yeah, of course.
Like being willing to actually, there are so many articles that come up in my feed about Marvel movies and these big things. And if anybody does anything out of line, it gets noticed, it gets called out. And if we are engaging in the dialogue of porn as well as the economics of it, being willing to like publicly follow a porn performer on your Twitter account and these kinds of things, instead of keeping porn and sex in general in some sort of like dark closet in the back of our bedroom, so to speak. I think that philosophy is so crucial here. And it's why we've been sitting here for an hour talking about porn, which I know has no doubt turned off plenty of viewers. And I get it. And I want to be sensitive to that, while also saying that like this stuff matters and it's worthwhile to be a part of it. So, to that end, I know we have some calls waiting, and so I want to make sure to get let Puck pull one up here in just a minute. But before he does, Sinn, I know we talked a lot about your boundaries and ethical practices and things like that last time you were here. I want to make sure to put that episode in front of a lot of our viewers for anybody who missed it. But real quickly, I just wanted to check in and see if you had any particular tips that you might recommend for other performers who are considering this, who are new to this.
Oh yeah, I mean, just so many. Okay, so if you're new to porn, I think you should just be very wary about who you work with. Just because somebody hits you up on ManyVids or on Twitter and it looks like a performer and they're like, let's shoot together, do your research, vet them, ask around, say, who else have you worked with, and then contact those people. If they say, oh, I don't have anyone to give you for that, then don't work with them. Same thing with like, even if you're gonna get an agent, be careful who you pick as an agent, because they're terrible. And so make sure you try to go with like a reputable place if they'll have you, or
which means you got to know the reputation. Like, I mean, just be part of the conversation, be part of the community.
It's that, yeah. Be part of the conversation. Get on Twitter, start following other sex workers, ask us questions. Because I can say, as a veteran, like, when somebody does hit me up and says, oh, can I get some tips, or do you know about this person? I am so overjoyed with the happiness to help them. Like, I want to help them. I had to, step through a lot of this shit on my own. I didn't have anyone I could ask about it. So I just had to learn everything myself. And if I can help someone kind of skip forward past that, I want to so badly. They had like a advocacy thing set up with the union, the pseudo union that we kind of had for a little while. And I was so excited to be a mentor. It was like mentors matched with mentees. And I was so excited to do this and help a newer performer. And then, she just never got in touch with me, and we never had a meeting. And I was just like, damn it. And the whole thing just kind of fell apart. But, I'll just say it right here. Anybody who is already in, and you need help and guidance, like, I am so more than happy to help. But I know a lot of performers feel the same way. So the porn you watch, take a note of the names and find us on Twitter and just talk to us and ask us. Like, that is probably the best thing you can do.